Do they have a list? He's asking for a list.
Where's the list?
Do we have a list? Do we have a list?
I need a list.
We have a list. We need a list? We got a list?
You know them off the top of your head?
Oh, absolutely. Just go, yeah, just hometown, the whole deal. Yeah, yeah, you got it. Do we have a list? Copies are being made.
Thank you.
All right. I like to kick it off that way. That's good. I think, on a real positive note, I think CC's papers finally came in, and so that was pretty exciting. And just to get it out of the way right now, Thomas, okay, there were no injuries that we're aware of from anybody getting stuff from the fax machine today. So the injury report should be pretty clean. All right, we'll be ready for next year at this time. All right, but guys, what a great time. I love this time of year because we had an opportunity to add some new guys to our family, to our team, to Gator Nation, and I think it really, when you look at it, those guys that jumped on board early, those 12 guys and the graduate transfer that are here right now to go through spring ball, I think that speaks a lot for who they are and what they're all about. Those high school guys that went ahead and worked a little extra in the summer and stuff to get graduated so they can get here and be a big part of what we're doing, and they're already just integrated into our guys, man. It's been great. We had an opportunity for those guys, because a lot of them didn't have a chance to go through the signing day like a lot of the people did, and so we did one with our team down there where we introduced the guys, put them in Gator colors, and showed some highlights and had them make a couple comments, and that was pretty good. I mean, our guys enjoyed that, and I'm really proud of those guys that are here, and you're going to get to know those guys, obviously, through spring practice and the spring game and that kind of stuff. So should be pretty fun. So, as far as that, I think you can kind of tell what we were trying to do in this class. We were trying to kind of restructure some of the rooms, get some new blood in there, get some guys, as competition as we move forward. Do we have it now? All right, you good? All right. I might have been early. That might have been on me, guys. So, but anyway, excited about it, and more than that, excited about all the people who've been involved in making this a successful year. I'd like to give a shout out to Coach White and what he did last Saturday against West Virginia, when we had obviously a bunch of not only current recruits but guys on campus from 17 and 18 classes. So that really gave us a great kickoff moving forward, and what a great environment that was. And looking forward to that tonight against Arkansas tonight as we play at 7. So you guys get a double header here. You get a little football in the morning and a little basketball at night. That's pretty good. But, with that, take any questions you guys have. Robbie?
Coach, how much do you think maybe you helped the offense with this class?
Well, obviously that's part of the side that needed probably the most restructuring. And like I said, I think we addressed some of those position needs. I feel really good at the skill spots. We obviously had some young offensive linemen, and we've got a couple that we look forward to adding to that. But when you look at it from the receiver, quarterback, running back side, I think we've got some really good talent in there, and it'll be fun to watch them because majority are here already. So we'll get a good feel for that this spring.
And how big is that, having the 2 quarterbacks and 3 of the receivers here for the spring?
Well, it's just just to see them interact, and just get involved in how we go about our daily business is something that's huge. And I'm really proud of those guys. I'm proud of all those guys that chose to do a little extra work, when it's a little uncomfortable, to get in here and start their college careers, a semester early.
Pat? This was really your first full year head coach elite recruiting year. Mm-hmm. Can you just talk about what that was like for you?
Yeah, it was, it was fun to have the full kind of cycle going forward, as we've already got great momentum, as I said, on 17 and 18. Really excited about that as well, just the way we were able to get kind of an earlier start with all the guys and building the relationships, and really proud of our coaches, and I'm really proud of our people on campus here. Everybody from the administration to the people who help out with the tours and all that. They can feel what's going on, and as we continue to add to the facility pieces and keep investing in these players is really what it's all about.
Mark?
You have your sheet?
I do. Tyree Cleveland.
Yeah.
You guys celebrated that one pretty good in here. What was the key there? What got that guy to?
Well, I think, he's a guy that came by this summer and always had a lot of interest in the Gators, guy that, right there in Duval County, before he moved to Texas. So he's not necessarily, stuck into the Texas part of it, For him, it's a little bit of a homecoming. And here's a guy that grew up wanting to be a Gator, playing in the swamp, back with a bunch of guys a couple guys that he actually grew up playing with. So, I'm really happy he's back in this part of the country.
Who did the final legwork getting him?
Well, I think that's one of the things, when you look at how we recruit, everybody's involved heavily. Obviously, Kerry had a lot to do with that, being a position coach there, but when he was here, it was a little piece of everybody, and I think he felt it.
Edgar?
Yeah, Coach. Felipe Franks, I know he's already on campus.
Yeah.
What's the upside there? How far does this kid have to go? I know a lot of people are pretty excited about him, fans and things.
We're excited about him and Kyle, that are in here with that class as freshmen. And here's the great thing at that position, too, is you're getting an opportunity through these workouts right now to really kind of build a lot of, kind of see the leadership piece of it, too, as to how they go about their daily work. And you know what, I know this, we're going to be able to complete some routes on air because these guys can throw it now.
The other thing is last year, one of your express goals was kind of locking up the state of Florida. Where do you feel the program is with that? How far do you guys still have to go?
Well, we still got a long ways to go, but we'll continue to work that in all those areas. I kind of like how we've got some from a lot of the different areas, as far as within the state, not just focused on one central area. But that's something we still need to get better at, and we'll keep working at it.
Jack?
Jim, obviously improving offensively has been a priority for you since day one, since you got here. In 14 months from your last two of this last cycle to this one, just how happy are you with kind of how you've transformed the personnel on that side of the ball with the guys you've brought in?
Well, I'm really more so just excited about getting, the type of new blood in those different position groups and different meeting rooms. Bring a little energy, a little competition, an opportunity to really work on some guys as to how you go about your daily business and how you go about, getting better every single day. And, in this short period of time, these new guys, it's been fun to watch how eager they are, but also been fun to watch some of the older guys taking these guys under their wings and kind of a big brother figure. And that's been great to see with, the current Gators as well.
I'm sure the last thing that you probably pay attention to is star ratings. But early on this cycle, you and your staff got a lot of commitments from guys that not even were 3 stars, but they were kind of unrated guys and raised a lot of eyebrows from fans. But by the end of the cycle, a lot of those guys were either 4 stars or they were getting pursued by Alabama and a bunch of other top programs. Right. Was that kind of a feather in your cap?
Well, I'm glad you kind of saw that. This is one of the things we did is we wanted to get an early start on obviously the identification, the evaluation, and seeing if they're going to be a fit for the University of Florida. Not just as players, but, both academically, socially, and all the things that go along with that. And being able to have this full cycle, to kind of go back to Pat's question a little bit, I think we were able to really get a jump on some guys. And I was very happy to see our evaluation, as a lot of these guys had great senior years. And then, it's kind of interesting, you start a marathon and then a bunch of people jump in with about, quarter of a mile to go and hand them the cup of water. You're still hanging on. But that's part of recruiting, and that's why I'm so proud of our evaluation process. And we've got, like I said, a real good jump start moving forward as we're talking about 17 and 18s.
Landon and Pat?
What aspects about Austin Appleby really intrigued you to kind of bring him in as a graduate transfer?
Yeah, Austin's a guy that obviously didn't show up as one of those, but one of our graduate transfers. And here's a guy that brings experience, a guy started at a high level, and a guy that understands what it is to prepare as a starting quarterback. And that's something that's lost sometimes, is those guys in the meeting room that can kind of translate with those younger guys and everybody, build competition, but also teach as to how you go about your business. And I've been really excited to kind of hear what he's been doing, and having an older guy in there is pretty good.
And obviously one of the more heralded guys in this class, Antonius Clayton, just what's your evaluation of where he's at right now as a football player?
Well, the guy can get off the football and make plays. And there's a case of a guy that, we got on early, just a credit to his family, the people around him, that he stayed with us. And this is a guy the Gator fans should be really proud of.
Jesse over here to the right then, Pat.
Mark Thompson, kind of expected to boost the tailback position. What makes him so explosive? And obviously, he's a guy that you hope can contribute right away next year.
Yeah, and I think the first thing that comes to mind is his size. And then when you watch the film, his ability to finish. And, he was just up in the office today with a couple of the guys, came by my office to see how we were doing, and said he was at 239 today, and, didn't look 210. You know what I'm getting at? I just, I'm excited to see him as we work forward, and he's doing a great job with Coach Kent. And then, you throw in there LaMichael Pirine along with, Crichton and Jordan already. That's a pretty darn good backfield. We're really excited about it.
Pat?
When you call for Jawan Taylor, who shows up? Since you got two of them.
Well, the one from the 304 is JEA1, and the other one's Wani. So, okay. So we're good. We got it figured out.
I'm sure you're aware of what Brett Bielema said on TV today. You're the new Ole Miss. You're doing things that are shocking people. Do you take that as a compliment or as a sour grapes?
Well, I got to get a kick out of it a little bit, because obviously this guy doesn't know who the heck I am. I sure as heck don't know who he is, and I'm not even sure we really ran into him on recruiting trail. But I know what I'm all about, and I know what the University of Florida is all about. And I think if you were to poll anybody in college football, I think they'd know that Mac does it right. And I have no idea what this guy was talking about, to be honest.
Add to the rivalry when you guys play them?
I guess. It'll give you something to write about, I guess. I don't know. There you go.
Good for us.
Yeah, good for you guys.
Nico in the back.
Coach, obviously it's a great day when you add somebody like Tyree Cleveland, but you guys also maybe lost a few other commitments. Are you happy with the way you and your staff, quote unquote, closed this signing period?
Absolutely. I mean, you can see the numbers on the sheet, and I think we're still waiting for another one that probably hadn't. I think all the papers have cleared. But I think, what is it? How many do you have on there, Mark? 24? Okay. So we got 25 will be signed, and last time I checked, that pretty much is a full class, so I feel pretty good about it.
And then how did you guys get better at linebacker today?
Well, you look at the young guys that obviously we've got one here already in David, and then you take a look at those young guys that'll be in here taking snaps right away. As I kind of explained to them, we've got some quality at those spots, but the lines aren't very long. It's like when you go to Disneyland and get one of the fast tracks or whatever, where you get to go get on the ride right away. These guys are going to come and get on the ride right away, so they'll have a chance to get better in a hurry.
Robbie?
Coach, any timeline on finding a defensive backs coach?
Yeah, I think we're down the road on that. Obviously, it goes back to something I believe in, is I'm not going to ruin anybody's, I mean, this is something we're ready to do. It'll happen. You guys will probably know it via Twitter or whatever before I even do. So, but yeah, it's ready to go.
Nick?
Have you ever recruited a kicker as hard as you recruited Eddie this cycle?
No, absolutely not. Never have.
Ever thought about recruiting a
No,
kicker that
I
hard?
never have. Until I saw two go down with ACLs, what a character. And yeah, I think we got a chance to maybe put one through the uprights.
How was the Cuban food when you went down and visited?
It was pretty cool. And he actually did the translation too for me, so at least I knew what I was eating. And I will tell you this, it was good. And his grandma can really cook.
Ashley in the back?
How has the growth of social media impacted your recruiting process for you and your staff this year?
Well, it's something that just is constantly evolving, and you got to evolve with it. It's how people communicate today. So, you got to kind of have specialists in there that know how to use it, see what's trending, doing all that, all the stuff that you got to do. I obviously try to keep up with it, all right? But that's why we've got experts in our organization to help us with that. But it's the way now that people go about their business. And so it's pretty cool.
Zach?
Jim, wanted to go back to that question about the notion of closing, and how for some reason, recruits that decide today are more valuable than the ones that decide in October or in the summer. Is that all? Have you always got a kick out of that? And I mean, do you feel like the guys that you brought in maybe this spring or in January is probably more impactful than what you signed today?
Yeah, you never know, on that. And yet, we were kind of aware of where we were and what was probably going on. So, I mean, it didn't shock anybody, if that's what you're asking. And so some of them might have known even before. But it makes for great news, and you guys, everybody gets excited about it. I know we had a great recruiting class.
Would you like to see National Signing Day not be such a big deal in the future, and maybe go towards an early signing period?
Yeah, I think we've talked, I mean, who knows where the movement is. There's been different models for all that. I think the guys that are now graduating early and coming in are kind of answering a little bit of the early signing period when you kind of think about it. So, for us, having 12 of those guys in here, it totally changes the locker room, the meeting rooms, and what we're going to be able to accomplish in spring ball.
Thank you, Aaron. Steve?
One commitment you guys had ended up at a rival school at a position you guys, I don't think, ended up signing anyone in, defensive tackle. Is that an area, I mean, you guys have a lot of depth there, I know, but is that an area you guys kind of needed maybe to get a guy?
You would, you always want to try to make sure you get one or two pieces at each spot, and yet, that's a choice. That's what it is.
Steve?
Coach, you've done this a year or two. With social media, all the changes, you always hear that recruiting is about relationships. How has recruiting, if it has, changed for you over the years?
Yeah, quite a bit. And obviously the thing that you've seen too dramatically is the change in the calendar itself. And there isn't a lot of opportunity as you once used to really get out in the one-on-one phase. Those contact opportunities have been drastically pushed back. So you really got to do a great job of the research and then digging 7 people deep in people's lives to kind of get a feel for who they are, and they've put a lot more on that. And yet, that social media that's out there today, you can do some pretty darn good research on maybe what you're going to be dealing with too. And as we kind of talk to our guys in a constant education, that's a piece that I don't think anybody realizes that they can use as a platform to enhance their brand, who they are, what they're all about, right? And I think we all see a lot of instances where maybe it doesn't get used in the way you want it to. and yet that's all part of learning.
Nick up front and then in the back.
Coach, you had a lot of success and put a lot of emphasis on the state of Alabama. Is that just this recruiting cycle, or is that a state you kind of want to be able to pull
Well,
from?
no, I think, for us, obviously, the footprint of the SEC, and there were some guys, in particular that, we evaluated and felt like they were in need positions for us. I wouldn't look that much into it. Maybe some of those schools that, are in those areas and kind of get their pick, maybe weren't in need of some of those positions. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't read too much into that at all. And I think when you look at the SEC in general, pretty much every school is recruiting in that footprint, and in this case, like with LaMichael, being kind of in that panhandle area, that's a natural with the state of Florida, and Montgomery is on the way down there, and then when you're looking at Hoover, that's one of those that we just evaluated. He filled our needs, and he's a really good player. So I wouldn't read too much into that other than that.
Oh, in the back in the middle, Coach.
Coach, all three of the offensive linemen you signed are from the Central Florida area. What do you like from them, and what do you think they can bring to the team maybe next year or in the future?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, when you think about the size, and then you couple that with the athleticism, and three guys that really wanted to be Gators. And, that means a lot. And, they'll fit in there, and we got our numbers back. I think as we sat here and talked going into spring ball last year, what were we at, 6 or 7 O-linemen maybe, something like that. So, you know what, I'm glad at least we got some bodies there too. Anything else? Guys, I appreciate it, and we'll get rolling. I guess we'll do this before spring ball. Is that right? I just answered to him. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. No injuries.